Puji girl, saan ka galing? Galing naman yung snake! Anong gawa mo?
Okay, sino nasa 3D animation na sa inyo ngayon? Kababaimada. Sounds Japanese. I'm working on a mech. Oh, good lord. It's it's Jago. Yeah, there are communities here that is under the niche of Draco. So, so right now I'm currently working on the high poly version of the mech I am working on. So aside from the low poly, the high poly should be also considered in such detail. Of course, you all want that sweet definition or details for your model. So I've been working this one for my on my free time. So just focusing on just one side and duplicating the other side, either in game or by the time I get to fix the baking part. There we go. Okay, so let's switch. So let me just open up here. What are you using for rigging? I should say. What kind of models? Biped or quadruped? Because those are two different workflows. Why, thank you. I'm planning to 3D printed this as well. So having that kind of push with the high poly is somewhat giving me the kick to put that biped. Okay, biped. Let's grab some. Let me just take this out. So let's open Maya. I'm not really into 3ds Max when it comes to skin. 3D print, hindi ako nag-3D print eh. I asked my friend to 3D print it for me. If I wish. Well, we did had an actual model. Again, let me just share screen, the whole screen here. Maya lang ako nag-a-animate. Well, I used to model in Maya. I think I was like, might as well go for mocap. Nah, too lazy. Goes for 2D. You know, some of the VTubers, di ba? Sorry. It's been a while I opened this. Let's transfer to Maya. So anyway, it's simple to model. How long? Well, it has been my pastime. So I started this one around December of 2019. That long. Well, it's actually a fan art. It was my actual model na ganito. Really old game. So ako parang just for kicks of the old game, might as well have that model recreated on 3D on a triple A game platform. So I do work this one on my free time. So let's have some of the models that I've been working recently. So if you're going for biped one, actually yeah, we could work on this one on Discord. You could I'll drop my Discord here para hindi na kayo mahirapan mag-type. Nakatamad mag-type. Discord. There we go. So pretty much, a game model is very much different in terms of a production model. Very lightweight kasi sa games. So this has been optimized to work under a game engine. So very small lang yung details na makikita model, as you can see. Yan. Not too heavy with the vertex. The textures will carry out some of the details for this one. So, lagyan natin siya ng material. Control down below. Control V. Add import for this material that is already here. So, back up. So, naging ganyan kasi may transparency siya. Oh, sorry. So, as you can see here, I have here a model of me. So, yan, nilagay ko siya dun sa project namin at walang nakapansin. Like, I'm running out of characters. Might as well download my or make my own character as one of the avatars. And no one noticed. Yeah, self-insert. And sometimes I do signatures, actual signatures of my pen name on the model. Okay, let's connect the following. This is the, there you go. Hindi naman sila nagrereklamo. I'm like, oh, okay. So, what you have here, may bones na siya. Ayan. So, naka-rig na siya eh. So, we could start from scratch. So, we could delete this one. Delete. So, yan, delete ko yung bones that are present, that are already present here. So, exit X-ray mode. Let's go for let's go for untextured one para lightweight yung ating datingan, and the wireframe mode so that we could see things. So hold on in space, right click, front view. So let's add bones. So here, make sure that you're under upper left corner here. From modeling, go for rigging. You go for skeleton, go for create joints. Yan. Sabi ko nga hindi nakikita. Wait, I'll be shifting with the different viewport. This hindi na connect yung mga toolbars. So let me just add an actual screen. Display capture source.
was like, they were like, can you make an avatar with this one? Okay. Can I have some specification? Just make an avatar. I'm like, oh, done. So might as well insert myself there. So self insert. Okay, how about now? There we go. O, diba? Naka-student version pa ako. So, sir, bakit po pala tries instead of quads? Good question. Tries are easier to render in game engines. Quads kasi are good for animation, but in terms of game engine, where the game engine looks for a very lightweight build. So by the time you export this one and transfer it into a game engine, the game engine will automatically convert every quad into a triangle. So, yon. Okay, so I think my screen is, ayan, nag-display yung mga toolbars ko. So, skeleton, joint. Of course, since we're dealing with biped, let's start from a root joint here. Hindi siya makita, syempre. Let's go for x-ray. Ito siya. Kung hindi nyo siya makita pa rin, very small. Yun siya. Let's go for display. Sure hope I remember my rigging skills. Modify. Where was it? There's a tab here wherein you can increase the joint size. Yeah, ganun sa game engine. So different ang animation production and different din ang game dev production, but pretty much they have the same concepts behind them. Where was it again? So I'm looking for the joint to be larger than it used to be. Uh, which one? I only find yeah, I only find it by accident. Sometimes my feature dito eh. This is the reason why I do make these tabs, custom tabs that you have here. Yan. Teka, may marker nga pala ako dito. I can use this marker. So I have custom shelf here so that I don't have to look for it in case I needed it on the fly. So display. the new version has a find icon here, so pwede mo siyang hanapin dun eh. Yeah, making joints bigger. I forgot where it's located because I don't usually do the rigging here. So it's a review for me as well. Joint, toggle joint size. It has something to do here somewhere in modify or display, but I can't really find it right away. Toggle camera visibility. When in doubt, Jugo. Let's go Jugo. Kasi it's really small. Can't really see it on your side. Oh, good Lord, Maya. Yeah, it could be on the channel box somewhere here. And pwede dyan. But there's ano eh. Line tool. Match. Display. Grid height. It has something to do with joint size. If I'm not mistaken, it's under here. But there we go. Scale pivot. So you can't really scale it out just like that. It needs to have a I think it's some scale pivot. It should be scale pivot, but it's not really showing. When in doubt, let's go for the internet to answer a question. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Display animation joint size. Tama nga, display anim. Okay. There we go. This tab hasn't been there for like 2 upgrades, so I was very well versed from the 2013 to 2015. Recently lang tong tab. There we go. Thank you for that. Joint size. So you can increase that one. As you can see there. Ayun siya. Lumalaki yung kanyang tumor. There we go. So as Maya gets overhauled and upgraded every year, what happens is some of the tabs gets deleted and some of the tabs can get consolidated into different areas. So yon. So to increase that one, right? So for joint, actually for that manner, you can just Control D to duplicate and have another joint here. Pretty much you'll just drag and drop this one to this one to parent it out. There we go. Or you could go the long way, or you could go the shortcut way. Select the child, select the parent, press P to parent it. So ayan, so reverse naman siya. So that's the idea for it. But actually the way I do it is I do the points. Say for example, I place one there, place one here. So if para hindi natin makaselect to, we could be clicking this one, disabling this one by this manner. So this area is you get to disable selecting the polygon, so hindi mo siya makiklik here. As you can see, I'm trying my best to click here but no. So joints lang yung click natin. So 1, 2, This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So maybe somewhere here. Joint 4, somewhere in the ito. And of course, let's not forget this side. Holding down spacebar, right click, go for right side. Go for let's run this one. X-ray mode. Yeah. So we could place them here. Should be the ball. Should be the knee. Should be the hips. There. And of course you can. This is the main root. So pretty much hierarchy, diba? So this is supposed to be somewhere in the joint 3. Yun siya. Same goes here. Yun siya. And joint 1. There. So basic rigging. And again, just good measure, double check, holding on shift and clicking this one para mag-collapse siya. Ito siya, all throughout. Yan. And let's call it a day. Tapos na, yan na yun. No, just kidding. So select, since we have disabled this one, click this icon para ma-enable natin siya ulit. So let's go for skinning. Diba? Para just for it not to get in the way when you disable this one, so that you could just select the rigging. Yeah. So this is for polygon, this is for spline, this is for joint. Joint naman yung disable mo, hindi ko masiselect yung joint. You could readily see here. Yan. Yan. So the only time you get to select a joint not disabled here is through this one's outliner. But in the viewport, you can't really select that one. Alright. So, going back, select this joint, select this mesh, go for skin, bind skin. And therefore, you got it binded. Yeah, let it. Okay, yeah. But since we only made just one half, so unbind muna natin. You go wee, yeah, skin, unbind skin, because we need to have, yeah. So naming conventions, of course, is very much important for you to locate. So this is more likely your left leg, so left, more likely hip, more likely leg left. That's the kind of naming convention. Let's go for this one. Left upper leg, I should say. Leg upper. So it should be good practice to name the following, just for you to make it less of a hassle looking at it on some of this kapag dumami na siya. So upper, lower leg left. And let's say for example feet, kasi hindi naman natin tinapos yung left. Okay. Now, to mirror this one, you go for skeleton, mirror joints. Ayan. Pag kami, again, go for skeleton, you go for this option. So, X and Y, saan tayo? This is the X side, this is the Y. So we need somewhere here, right? So we will be selecting X and Y, but a negative. So dito tayo sa negative. So X and Y sa harap eh. Let's check. Apply. There we go. Yeah. So meron siya sa other side. We've just mirrored the other side. How can we tell? We could just select this one, have a layer for this one para it doesn't get in the way. Add selected objects. Ayan. So as you can see here, nakaduplicate na siya. Ayan o. So to collapse it, hold down shift, click this icon. Ayan siya. Ayan yung laman niya. Now, for you to rename this, yes, everything else gets mirrored. Just make sure, Maya is a very smart software. Just do one side and the other side will be taken care of if you correctly indicate the axes. Yon. Actually, there's a thing here wherein you could rename it. Saan na ba yun? Renaming stuff. Edit. Curves. So, even though renaming is a bit of a fuzz, you need to do renamings kasi it will help you a lot when it comes to paint skin weights. So see the preparations that we deal with this one. Okay, ito pala. Prefix names. Or actually, pwede ito, search. Search and replace names. So search for upper, search for left, underscore 1. Just replace this with right. So as you can see here, pag in-apply natin siya, replace. At hindi siya nag-replace. I don't know why. Okay. So again, right. Ito siya. It's supposed to be apply. Hindi siya nag-reply. Yeah, matigas yung ulo ni Maya. But supposed to be, oh, hierarchy selected, I should say. Let's check. Okay pa rin yan. Left. There we go. So it will find left, anything that you select there. So selected pala, should say. Yan. So anything that is selected on left, just replace in the right with the word right. And as you can see here, ayan. Oh, shoot. And as you can see here, ayan. By the time I hit apply, it would change into right. But when in doubt, just rename it na lang by hand para sigurado. Yan. Okay. So remember this kind of hierarchy. So this is the kind of a leg that we want. Okay. So moving on, Control A to show our layer. We're now ready to select this model. We have disabled. Again, let's click this one. Select the mesh itself, select the whole joint, skin, bind skin. So there we go. We've already yan, medyo. Now remember, this is a software made by engineers and coders. So very intuitive siya and technical. So in order for us to paint this one, so what I do is, at nagka-fatal error ako. Welcome to my world, guys. I always experience that sometimes. Which is maganda rin sa Maya. Meron siyang, whenever it crashes, meron siyang backup, nagko-consolidate siya ng backup scenes. So what happened there is masyado nang marami yung nilagay kong input, hindi niya na ma-read. So, ayun. Oops. So let's open another Maya. So let us load. So this is the reason why you should have multiple save underscore one, underscore two, just to have uh, some insurance. So as you can see here, ito yung kinagandahan ng current softwares or current builds ni Maya from 2018 to 2022. They have this kind of crash log. So by that, whenever I just click this one, ito ba yung ginawa natin kanina? Yes, ito yung ginawa natin kanina. Just click that one. Ito siya. It gets saved. And tignan natin sana hindi tayo mag-crash. Okay. So, yan. Yes, we're back on the ball game. Yan. So, last time, wait lang. Okay. Controllers, sometimes controllers can be done on the game engine, but for this one, sige, for the benefit of this tutorial, let's add some spline, create nerves primitive. Actually, I do select them here. Nerves primitive. Actually, this one's fine. Yan. Okay, Control A, just to make sure, just to check. Control A kung meron siyang transformation. Meron siyang transformation that we have here. Don't forget to freeze, delete all by type history, center pivot, freeze transformation. So as you can see here, yung mga tabs ko is sunod-sunod. Okay, so I'll be placing this controller doon. So paano siya? Control, if my rigging reminds me correctly, Control G to group it. Select a joint. So my modeling standard. I need the the channel attribute. So may mga settings din siya na ano. Show me the layer. Good Lord, Maya. Rigging. There we go. So I need this area to show me the positioning for this one. So this one is inside a group. That group is will be pairing this one with this joint, upper leg left. Select this one, child parent P. So nandun na siya. Ayan. Zero this out. Now see what happens. Pumunta siya doon again. Ulitin natin. So I did select a nerve here, which will be our controller. I placed inside the group. Select this group. Shift select this one, yung lower leg. P to parent. Dito sa may area na to. Yan. I'll be zeroing this one out. So it would transfer on this area. Yan. Then I could go for slowly going for vertex mode, sizing it up, making it a controller that I want. Kasi pag vertex mode, pwede natin siyang galawin. Yan. This should be the knee. Depending on the controller that you want, actually really want. So you must customize, really up to you. Yan. And now this will be our controller for this one. So select this controller, select this joint. Let's go for constraint. More likely it's just a rotation, so orient is fine. So when I select this one, Ooh, there we go. When I select this one, ayan, naka-orient mode siya. Okay. So whenever I select this controller, let's say there, hindi pa siya naka-orient. Whenever I select this, nawala. Okay. Select this nerve, select this joint, constraint, more orientation. Ayan. And ang bilis ng ikot niya. Ayan. Select this one. Constraint, orient. So naka-orient siya. So just in case I want to get it back in place, I'll just zero this one out and hit enter. Ayaw niya mag-hit enter. Go! There we go. But why? Ano ba ginagawa mo? Nilalagay mo lang ba siya doon? Over the top? Well, yeah, that's kinda medyo intermediate na kasi itong rigging na to. So, yeah. Or might as well select this joint, select this controller. Maybe let's name this one CTRL controller underscore, let's say leg. Snap to joint, both to start usog pa. Well, that's possible naman. But this one kasi yung sa akin, angled kasi siya. So that's, nilalagay ko siya sa group. So select this one, select this joint, constraint. Might as well, when in doubt, parent it out. Masyado mabilis yung ikot niya. Yan. So let's select this one. Let's go to paint skin weights already. Yeah, make sure the model is on its history, center pivot, freeze transformation. Ayaw niya mag-freeze transformation, I don't know why. There we go. Everything else should be 0. So sunod-sunod siya, as you can see here. So select this joint, select the mesh, skin, find skin. Respond to a different pose, I don't know why, let's check. Skin, find skin. Skin joint 1 was bounded to a different pose. Skin joint 1 was bounded to a different pose. Just weird. Okay. Skin, find skin. Go to bind pose and attach new skin. Skin. When in doubt, history, transformation. Skin, bind skin. Skin on joint 1 was bounded to a different pose. Constraint, parent constraint. I forgot to offset this kaya tumataas. Parent constraint. Should be an offset here. Maintain offset, yes, apply. Okay. So simple rigging lang tayo. Skin by skin. Cluster skin joint 1 was bound at a different pose. Skin on joint 1. There was a joint 1. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So, yeah, naka-ano siya. Unbind skin. Let's say, unlock. natin to. Tapos freeze transformation. There we go. Skin. What the heck? When in doubt, let's upload the model again. Response. Sometimes you can set up the skeleton right before you include the model, either way. So yeah, so let's delete this from its usual master. Delete na. So na-delete na siya. Yan. 3 transformation. It's locked. Unlock. 3 center pivot, freeze transformations. Everything else gets zeroed out. Select this one. Go for skin, bind skin. It's bound to a different pose. Ayaw niya talaga. Wait. Let's go back a couple of. So skin. Let's just unbind this one. Unbind skin. There we go. Delete the animation that it has. Delete that one. History, center pivot, and skin. But when in doubt, just copy this one. Control D to copy this one. Delete that one. Skin. Joint one. It's always the joint one, which is weird. Skin. Skin on joint one was bound at a different. This kind of error, it sucks. Bind boost on it. Sometimes you have to delete things and start from scratch. Delete. So, skeleton, create joints. Joint 1, joint 2, joint 3, joint 4. Display. Joint size. Let's see. Let's turn the visible off. Everything is haywire. Let's move it here. You have that kind of hierarchy. Make it visible again. Select this one. Select these joints. Pretty much you get to know the controller, right? I don't know what's with the joint one. Skin. Fine skin. There we go. So if we got to bind this one, so select this one as we rotate it. Actually, it's really sad kung ano lang, isa lang. Ayan. Actually, para madali. Sometimes, I don't get to mirror. I hold down Shift D and just move it there. Pero para mas precise, kailangan natin ng skin mirror. Skeleton ball, I should say. Mirror joints. Y, thigh. There we go. So don't forget to name this one. Upper leg. Left. Lower leg. Left. Feet. Weight ng lower. There we go. Feet. Right. Let's bring our model back. Select this mesh. We have a newly made model. Skin. Bind skin. There we go. So for us not to kick, disable that. So paint skin weights. Yes, sometimes we have to re-upload things just because of the error, unknown error. So ayan. So what I do, since wala naman tong controller, I just hit everything, the joints as with S, so that it registers a keyframe. Go for 5, somewhere here, press S, so that by the time I get to move this, actually kahit yung first lang actually somewhere here, maybe deal with this one, press S, so that I could get back to that kind of movement. Yan. So paint skin weight. So as you can see here, there are unwanted vertices that follow this kind of yan, it follows that influence. So what I do is this is where it gets technical. I select the mesh, go to vertex mode, select everything else. There we go. I go for modify. Where is it again? Kasi meron ako dito component editor. So pretty much I made it as an icon. But here, let me just get back. Yeah, there we go. Animation. No. Relationship editors. Relationship editor. There we no, not really. So Windows General Editors, we go for component editor. It would open this one. There we go. So it gets intimidating with all of the numbers. Yes, this is the influence that I'll be setting on this one. So again, let's move the slider a tad bit, so it happens with that kind of manner. So what I do, I look for the smooth skin, as you can see here. Remember the naming conventions that we had earlier, right? Ito na siya, yan sa taas. Feet left, fifth joint. So this is right, so it should not have any influence with the left. So this is your left, this is your right leg. Yeah. So we will be locating we will be influencing this area to follow on the right only. So let's look for the feet for the right. Yan. Feet left. Every left here will be marked as 0, so I'll be selecting. Again, make sure na nasa smooth skin ka. So select this one, go all the way down. Yan. Holding down shift again for this one. So select this one, all the way down, holding down shift. click to select all. You press 0. Look what happens. Umusog siya, right? So all left components here, you will be locating here. Ito left din to, right? Kidding aside. So this is a left part. So select all of this one. All the way down. All the way down. Yan. Hold on, shift, select, clicking this one. 0. Now, notice what happens here. Press down, enter. Yan. So wala na siyang influence. So the left leg isn't influencing the right part of the leg. So everything else here is, oh, meron pang isa, left leg. So every left is marked as 0. Selecting this one, 0, enter. There we go. Okay, we have this little critter that is going to the left side, right? So we'll have to zero things out. So let's locate every left idea here. So may 0.7 influence siya. Ayan. And it has 0.2 influence. That's the reason why it's still on the left part. So what we can do is, again, zero things out. Zero mo lang siya. Press down, enter. And again, as you look on this one, while I hit down 0, enter. So nawawala siya dun sa influence na yun. So that is a simple way of dealing with paint skin weights without the hassle of paint brushing everything else. Yan. So select yan para tipid. So I go for Windows, General Editors, Component Editor, just to have me an icon of this one. Hold down Control Shift and click. Mayroon na ako dito, as you can see there. Oh, snap. Saan ba yan? Yan, custom. Mayroon na ako dito. Ayan. So whenever I want to have this one, click ko lang to. Punta ako dun sa area na yon. Again, pupunta ako dito sa Smooth Skin. Now, this is the left leg, right? This is the left leg. Again, this is the right leg. You delete every information that is on the right leg. So, ang mangyayari, so you locate the right. Everything right here gets to have a 0 information. So again, selecting down right, 0 things out, you'll notice this one, enter. So it kind of moves in. So this is left upper leg, left, right. Select this one, go all the way down by scrolling down, shift, select, holding down 0. Again, notice this one, enter. So it tries to move every influence that are present there with the right. And lastly, for this one, since we didn't want to have this kind of influence, everything else is 0. So there we go. Parang mas madali to. There are some lapses for the manual paint skin weights, but there are benefits for using paint skin weights. But this is to accurately remove remove influences that are unwanted. So as you can see here, malinis na siya. Yan. So okay, so pansinin nyo rito, there's, of course, we are dealing with fabrics here, right? So this area should be moving, right? So static yung iba. This one is very mobile. The other one is static. Yan. How could it? Ayan, oh. Nakikita mo yung vertices na gumagalaw, right? To even things out, I do it under hammer skin weights. So I go for skin. Where is it? Go for the hammer skin weights. So meron na ako ditong hammer skin weights. Ayan siya. Nilagay ko na siya dyan so that by the time I want to have this kind of boundary that I have here, yung boundary na yan, mag-hammer skin weights na lang ako. So notice, yan, ganyan yung movement niya pag walang hammer skin weights. So to even things out, pag nag-hammer skin weights ako, boom, meron na siyang movement. So na-even under hammer skin weights, here, it averages yung mga boundaries dito. Yon. So very much even out yung pag-distribute ng influence under skin hammer skin weights. So I got to present you guys with two different workflow. One, dito sa component editor, tinatanggalan mo ng influence yung mga hindi dapat magkaroon ng influence. Second is yung sa uh, hammer skin weights. So from the word itself, it hammers down the averaging. Alright. So I sure hope it would help you on your rigging. On my part kasi I don't have controllers kasi everything else is being controlled on a game engine. So ang pinaka workflow ko is, let's say for example, I have here a model, a very static model. So without the rigs. So what I do is I go to Mixamo. Doon ako nagre-rig kasi nga kailangan ko ng auto rigging, right? So the workflow that I do is, let's say for example, let's find a model here. Construction. Construction sim. Say let's look for a static model here. Okay, let's have a new scene for this one. So for this one, I'm just drag and dropping the file here. Boom, ito na siya. Let's say for example, I have a model here. Ngayon, if you'd notice, it's on an A pose. T pose and A pose has its own drawbacks. I use A pose for some purposes, for the reason na this auto rigger kasi is pretty much does it all for me. So may mga drawbacks din sa auto rigger. So the drawback of the auto rigger is it's ideal to work under a pose. So let's say for example, I have this model, a static model, wala siyang laman. Yan, wala siyang rigs that inside there. Yes, Mixamo is free. So there we go. So log in. I'll just log in my account here. Normally Google lang ako since tamad ako mag-register. But again, this is for very quick workflow kasi. Kaya ako Mixamo, and the line of work that I have deals with Mixamo. Kumbaga, we do have it in Unity. Oh, fudge cake. Let me just log in. Oopsie daisy. Mixamo. Yeah. Okay. New window. Okay, let's log in into Mixamo. Kasi everything else is motion captured. So, kung kayo, if you'll be starting from scratch, you'll be animating the whole thing. But if you have if you'll be working on a game engine, dapat may mga motion capture kayo doon. So, log in. Actually, log in Google. Okay, so what I just done is nag-log in lang ako sa Google. So, ano yung ating ano dito? Okay. Ayan, nakalagi na pala siya. So, itong character natin, teka, what I usually do, so let's start from scratch. Upload the character. Oops, focus. So the static model that I've just shown you, I'm just going to move it here. Yan. So what it does is it's an auto rigger, meaning everything else is placed for you. Yan. So what it does is click down X. So you're going to place in the chin somewhere here, wrist is here, elbows is somewhere there, knees are somewhere here, groin is somewhere there. So yan, as you can see here, meron na siyang standard skeleton. Yan, let's wait for it to simmer. So yeah, auto rigging siya, as you can see here. Again, it's always time consuming to start from scratch. So some workflows needed to be jumped by automatic or a very procedural approach. So ikot-ikot lang, ikot-ikot. So medyo matagal since it's a bit long because it's a very heavy model. How could I say? When you see this one, yan, see of the vertices, medyo mabigat na yan. You could tell from the wire frame that you have here. Yan, medyo may kompleto pa siya. I haven't yet optimized this one. Well, all of this one. So medyo mabigat yung ating model for it to finish its baking process. So ikot-ikot lang. And we're done. So when you're done with auto rigging, there we go. The static model that you have under A pose is pretty much there, but you have to clean up some of the areas. Let's say for example, ayan yung area na yan, yung magazine na yan, and the hands as well, and of course the vest. This is where paint skin weights comes in. So yeah, so we could by this one, since this is a motion track ready skeleton, we could change some actions that we have here. Let's say for example, Escapera pack. So some of the motion action or some of the motion capture that you see in games are pretty much done here under a tight budget. I'll be downloading this one as a default character because it needs some cleaning up to do. Yeah. And yes, you could download the model with the animation capture as well, or maybe this one, Kiss. So yeah, nabulusot siya. It passes through the model. So there's a bit of a cleanup will be done here. But I don't want that one. I just want this one. So download the model. So T-pose is good because every avatar that gets to be uploaded on the game engine starts with a T-pose. So, diba? From A pose to T-pose, it's very dependent. So once you get to download this, let me just grab the let me just grab that model. I already have that one. There. drag this one up. Did it load? So the one that I've made, or the one that I've got, is the idle post. I actually, not the idle pose. My loser. I like the pose, but the actual animation isn't. Yan, ito siya. So medyo, yan. But it's not my client wants. So T-pose talaga yung ano dito. T-pose yung gusto niya. So ito siya. Actually somewhere here eh. I think ito yun eh. Cancel. Loser post. I kind of like the stance of it eh. So yun ang kasi it's supposed to be a rendered shot with just the post, pero not the actual animation. Yan. Ito siya, yeah. But for this one, this is the character under T-pose, pero hindi pa siya malinis. How could I tell? You could let's say modify. Let's go to display animation, joint size. Let's lower down the joints so that we can see them. X-ray, let's go for X-ray. Ito na siya. Yan. Hindi pa siya malinis. How could I tell? I could tell from the legs. There we go. Since it's an auto rigger, everything else is automated. Nawawala yung manual work. So here, since naka-animate naman siya, I could go back. If I move it in this way just for the animation test, I could go it back since naka-keyframe naman siya. So again, this is an holster. The holster should not be moving. Therefore, I go to the component editor, going for vertex mode for this one, selecting that vertex, go for smooth skin. More likely they have a name convention already. Everything else, it should not be moving with the same of the leg. So I'll be zeroing this one out. 0, press down enter. As you can see, 0, enter, doesn't move. So I remove the influence that is coming from the the right leg, I should say. So move it in place. So hindi na siya ano. Yes. So nasa-select ko siya. I don't want that to happen. Okay. I just want the leg. So by the time I get to pati yung gun gumagalaw. Anyway, the holster itself is not moving anymore. So that's the power of component editor. So where does hammer skin weights comes in? This is where the hammer skin weights comes in, is really good on boundaries or in edges. Let's see, for example, let's look for this one. So as you can see, the leg isn't, there we go, the leg is somewhat okay, but we could still improve that one by selecting the vertices here. Hold on. Growing the selection. Oh, not really deleting this one. So the groin, as you can see here. So I've selected this one. Notice the positioning of this one as I go for hammer skin weights. There we go. So without hammer skin weights, with hammer skin weights, so it kind of evens out the boundaries that are present here. So when I get to move it, it's pretty much even. So it works on those areas, very close areas. Same goes with the neck as well. Actually, it's skin weight clearly, but for the fingers, more likely there are some areas there that needs to be cleaned up. Let's see, for example, yeah, this area. So this is where I'll be going to vertex mode, uh, hammer skin weights. There we go. It gets even. Yeah. Without hammer skin weights, with hammer skin weights. So it evens out the distribution. So may mga tight areas. Actually, ano, I kind of optimized the model to have it that way so that when it goes to the auto rigging and gets baked, wala na masyadong problema. Ayan, meron dito. Hindi siya masyadong, say, this area. Hold on vertex mode, select this area. Hammer skin weights. Hammer. There we go. Medyo fixes the whole thing. So, paint skin weights. Medyo sa fingers na lang ako nagfo-focus. Let's say, for example, I go for there. Let's say, for example, this one. Yan, hindi siya masyadong okay. Yan, no? Medyo, yan. So, papasok si skin weights dito. So, I'll be selecting these vertices. Hammer skin weights, even it out. So, might as well click this one. There we go. Yan. So, medyo mabilis siya sa paint skin weights. That's one thing. So, yeah, paint skin weights is kind of a hassle. So, sometimes you get to work your way around. Ayun. Dito sa hands. Check natin yung hands. Sige. Actually, but yeah, component editor and hammer skin weights are my go-to. So very technical, but very, very efficient. Hindi na ako manghuhula ng skin weights ba dito, or by did I make an accident dealing with brushing an area there. Yan. So let's say, for example, right click, selecting the mesh, paint skin weights. I think selecting this one, select influence. So yeah, there's a little bit of area. Let's say, for example, you get accidentally put a influence there. Just select this area, go down to vertex mode. So there we go. You could either go for paint skin weights to have it flooded with a value of 0. Then you flood it, nawawala siya. Or you can go sa component editor. You'll trace this MF joint that's getting in your way. So that's around, I think this is the right hand. So wala dapat ano siya, index finger, index, pinky, middle, right hand. Yeah, there you go. So my index here, right? So you have to zero things out. 0. See, that's one thing. I use paint skin weights for softening the edges. Actually, I could do that right now. That's the only time I use paint skin weights. Let's say, for example, I'm just spreading this one, holding the shift to spread it out to have a good boundary for this one. holding down cancel and holding down Alt to have it 0. But everything else I do it on component editor just to make sure everything else is on their right influence. So sometimes Maya has a bug wherein you got to select this area and it doesn't show up with the black and white part or with the ramp color. It's a glitch. Sometimes Maya has this kinds of glitch that you can see, but by the time you get to look for them on this component editor, there are influences that are not supposed to be there. So that's one way of checking. So yeah, that's the paint skin weights process. So it will cut you a plentiful amount of time doing like different brushes here, maybe brush there, by just doing this, by just adding this to workflow, the component editor and the hammer skin weights. Sometimes I do hammer skin weights on the neck because uh, there, yeah, for example, this let's separate this one, control I. Isolate. Say for example this area when it moves. So I'll be selecting vertex mode for this one and hammer skin weights. So by the time the neck of this model moves, it's a bit even, or some of the areas there are moving. Some of the areas here. Yeah, paint skin weights is a nightmare at first, but again, once if you're a bit lazy with the whole animation process, you get to look for other ways of dealing it in a much painful state. So that's how you deal with paint skin weights. But you also have to need to go through that kind of pain of doing the manual paint skin weights to know the concept of it. As you work, as you get to know these basic steps, you tend to get different combinations of it along the way. And the auto rigger that I made, since this is an A pose, it saves me time dealing with the underarms. Let's say for example the underarms. So more likely I'll just select a couple of vertices here and go for skin weights, hammer skin weights I should say. When I click this one, click, it evens out the influence that are present there. So I don't have to go to the paint skin weights and manually brushing through that area. Well, that's great that you got to learn. So as you can see here, the underarm. So it's not really moving the way you want it to be. So might as well have a couple of vertices selected there, hammer skin weights. So when you get to move it, it moves along just like the clothes. There we go. So the game pipeline is very much different with the production pipeline. What you're doing is an animation production pipeline. Thus the quads, thus the joint creation from scratch. But if you're dealing with the game engine, lalo na kapag nag VTuber ng dragon si or ng furry si Drago Good Lord. Uh, Pretty much it's gonna be made under Unity and everything else has presets on it. It's like riding an electric car versus riding a diesel car. Pretty much they are both cars, but they have different workings. Actually, meron na yata ako dito, I think. Let me just check. I think, let me just look for that example for a VTubing app. Well, I was wanting to jump into the VTubing uh, bandwagon, but I want it to be more like a motion captured one. But you have to have an iPhone for motion capture. But this is in development that I have. Yeah, CodeMiko has CodeMiko is a technical artist more likely, but not really into the 3D part. So there are lacking areas on her stream. Given her model has, of course, some constraints. Given her uh, technicalities, so wala pang masyadong art doon. So what if you have that kind of technicality plus your skills in art, right? Like right now, meta humans are on the go for Unreal Engine. So one example is this one. It's from the Studio, so you just need a certain what do you call this one? Webcam to motion capture. H12 next. Email again. Good lord. Okay, sharing it with you. This is still on R&D. Yan. Pretty much the same, but it's made on Unity. So motion capture lang siya. Kailangan mo lang ng camera. Oh, good lord. but yeah, you could replace your model, your customized model here. I haven't quite gotten into that area pa. I think somewhere here in avatar request. Nope. If you want the Kali, and it's like VR tubing. So if you have a camera with you, it says CD32 Pro. Let's say Goku. Yeah. Nope. So yeah, it's on the works. It's made under Unity and it crashes. But I'm trying to build I'm trying to build one for Unreal Engine. Just for kicks. Just cause why not? So yeah, this is made under a game engine workflow. Close windows. So sure hope you learned a lot for this one, for this one's workflow. Ah, you're welcome. Yeah, should you have any questions, like I'm just a DM away. So if Drago would be making his dragon in the near future, well, he needs to work on those controllers for good facial mocap and wings if you want a realistic dragon to have a motion capture into it. That is a bit above the VTubing app and the 2D tubing scenes, I should say. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. Actually, where was I? Some of the OCs that I made, I just replace it with a motion capture because I'm really lazy dealing with the animation part. They're like, ah, might as well have a good motion capture and replace it with one. Well, that's sad. Well, he could get back with this one on Twitch since it will be saved and broadcasted on my channel naman. That's the reason why I asked for Twitch. So he could get back into it. I think, where was it? Let me just find it. Is this the one? I'm looking for that motion capture that I made. Oh yeah, this one. Let me just share a video for this. So sharing you the motion capture that I took from some anime some open source motion captured game. Teka lang, where is that? There we go. So, ito siya. So for this one, everything else, the model is I skin it under the same process. Yan. And I switch the skeleton with the motion capture one. Yan. So with Mexamo kasi and some other open source motion capture, you could switch movements. So you could do breeding cycles, you could do those kinds of stuff. To give you an idea of the whole workflow, so I think I'm alone. Sorry, did you make the model? Yes, I made the model. Like really kit bashing some of the ideas that I have in mind. So to give you an idea of the whole process, here's a time lapse. I sure hope I'm allowed to show this. I think it's from work naman eh, so they needed to have it marketed. So after I'm done, after I'm done with the model, pretty much, of course, texturing. You could use Substance Painter or uh, Quixel. Libre naman ang Quixel ngayon eh. Substance Painter, they suck. So Adobe made a really huge dumpster fire out of algorithmic Substance Painter. But it's still the texturing go-to for the industry. So can't really switch. But I'm trying to switch with Quixel right now because they are integrated with Unreal Engine. So medyo naka-timelapse dito eh. So with all of the folds and with all of the skin tones and the different textures, so medyo I'm rushing on the fly because it's not that main of it's not that a priority to have it like a really good looking one. Just make a default avatar. So I'm making fly. Free trial. It's free under 30 days. It's they have it on Steam, but don't buy the one on Steam because they only have it around by this end of the year 2021, and by then they don't get to support the next updates on it. So I think for you, for starters, you could go for Quixel Mixer. It's free. That's one thing you could test out there. So I think this is Quixel, and it's integrated with Unreal Engine. Pretty much is the same PBR, physically based. Just make sure to sign in with your Epic Games account. But the workflow is pretty much the same with Substance Painter. Substance Painter, well, if you're willing to jump in with the subscription business model of Substance, because Substance is acquired by Adobe. Yeah. And you know the workings of Adobe, right? But yeah, you could use Substance Painter in Steam or a trial version of it on their site under 30 days. Actually, I just tried. So after the texturing part, I went into the rigging process so that I could get to check some deformations that you have there. So you're looking at the legs that you have here. There we go. So these legs and those areas were hammer skin weights. There we go. I'm not going for frame by frame. So under frame by frame, I'm selecting those vertices, those areas, so as I click hammer skin weights, there we go. It evens the distribution of the influence for this one. So looking for those areas that has uneven distribution. Let's see, for example, this leg, so pretty much lightweight. Selecting those one, I'm pressing down G to repeat the execution for the hammer skin weights. So it's a bit quicker rather by just going to that shelf and clicking it manually. Here I'm just pressing one button. So as you can see here, my character doesn't have the controller because this is a gamer's avatar. The game engine will have the controllers for me. You could go to Creative Cloud, I think, for Substance Painter. Let me just window. Let me just new window. Where is it? Where is it? Let me just open a new tab. Window should say. So just go to Adobe. No, not you. It's a project Adobe. Adobe. Creative Cloud, I think. Creative. So what you have here is the one of the models that I've made for the client and have it web-based. So you could go around, check the model. So yeah, and under Adobe Creative Cloud, of course, you have to select your server. Oh, creativity for all. Oh, how about subscription for all? So you're going for where is it now? 3D AR. Once you're done with the dar, you go down down here under this one. See, $26. So much subscription. This one, Painter Sampler Designer. But you could go for a trial on this one. So start free trial. Just this one. So I'm actually on trial right now. Trial by combat. Start free trial. Yes, $26 lah. So imagine the people who bought Substance Painter this July and they only get to experience the whole thing free, or they get to experience their whole money's worth by the end of the year. Actually, I've downloaded this one. So going back to the video, so once you're done with the paint skin weights part, so even the armpits, just to even things out by hammer skin weighting. So this was a time lapse I made for the client. Like, show us the process that you do. Hold my beer. So this is what, like a 7-minute time lapse made under an 8 hour uh, full work. So as you can see here, paint skin weights on individual fingers and hammering it down. I know, mas mahal pa siya sa ano. Adobe. Why have algorithmic sold you Substance Painter? So once you're done with that, so uh, well, this was a medical device that will be placed on the model. So as I transfer to Unity, we do use Unity instead of Unreal Engine for the reason that Unity has a back-end programming that is very friendly to our game dev. So right now, so we haven't shifted yet to Unreal Engine. So here I'm just placing down the textures that I made. And materials, putting them in place. It still doesn't have the post-production lighting effect, so it's a bit like a Barbie doll per se. But this is just to test the model inside the game engine. So here I did a little bit of nodal based retargeting. So if you remember right, I did had it under Mixamo skeletal structure. By that, it's pretty much easy to transfer motion capture animations that I have here. This one, relax animation. This is a waving animation. This is a salute animation. So idle animation, those kinds of stuff. So yeah, different workflows for game engine and animation production. So by that, I'm retargeting that one into this movement without having controllers. So this is an idle pose, a walking pose or a walking animation. Just switch. I've just switched the animation. Oh, more likely I just switched the skeleton, I should say. So from avatars to avatars, you can get to recycle them. So female, this one's a male, same animation. Salute, same animation, and of course hi, different so that's to give you an introduction of the game engine platform, or like an introduction of dealing with the game art industry in one 7-minute role. But what you have kasi at school is more of an animation production, is more of on the movie side. So individual yung movement na gagawin nyo for each controller, as compared to a game engine, it's pretty much rigged with a press of a button. You're welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for giving me a quick review then with with the rigging part in Maya, because I'm kind of bit rusty with the Maya's rigging process, because I got to use auto rigging. Yeah, medyo nasanay sa auto rigging eh, so na-review din ako. Like, paano naman ulit ito? Ayan. Yeah, so and since I was shifting different softwares, so earlier you did get to use C 3ds Max. Now I shifted to Maya. Sometimes I use Blender for converting stuffs. But yeah, but once you get to have a full grasp of the concept, you could jump different softwares off the fly. On the fly, I should say. So it's really about it's really about picking the kind of niche that you want. You want it to be on a production level, or you want to be in a game art level. So different niche, different workflows, different. I really can't say that it's a hack. Different different suffering. So yeah. Yeah, thanks for dropping by, guys. Sure thing. Pretty much I'm just on Discord and here at Twitch. Kita mo naman wala nanonood sa akin, di ba? No one watches, so I'm like, might as well model here. Yes, you pick your poison. So if there's another trick is for you to have this customized toolbar that you have that I have here. Yeah, for you to have this customized toolbar, it helps a lot so that you don't have to find things here on the tab. So you could make this one by just clicking this gear icon. You go for your shelf editor and you go for your new shelf. Let's name hot dog. Okay, therefore you have an empty shelf here that you can place the things of icons, scripts, controllers. It's really up to you. So that's how one way to be efficient. So let's say for example you want freeze transformations under modify. Freeze transformation, where is it? I can't really find. Center pivot. Control shift click, therefore you have center pivot here. Or maybe you don't want to click here and delete all by type history. You just hold on control shift and click, and therefore you have it there. Skillshare, well, I did consider having Skillshare, but that's all I can give you about Skillshare. A good laugh. So yeah. Oh, we did manage to burn around an hour and a half, I think, of the stream. So let's go back to Max. Going back to my poison. Well, keep your secrets. Well, it's not a secret for this one. It's just there, and you just mix and match those basic properties or basic workflows to have your own, and therefore you have a technique. I just stream for kicks and it pushes me to model my portfolio, even though I don't like it sometimes, at some days. 31. Like a workflow, something, something. Yeah. So that's how you deal with the one man studio. You get the model, you get the rig, you get the texture, you get to animate. You're a one man production army. All 9 yards. Yes. All right. You're welcome. Again, thanks for dropping by. No problem. No problem. Yeah, break din ako. I'm gonna go to the toilet.